Cal and welcome to my world. All these games in front of me right now are my wrestling games. This is my entire wrestling games collection. I have 70 in total from multiple systems: the NES, SNES, N64, GameCube, Wii, Xbox, PS1, PS2, PS3, PSP, Game Boy Advance, and also the one Dreamcast game, Royal Rumble, which I couldn't be asked to get out of the box under my bed because fuck the Dreamcast. Now, I enjoy collecting wrestling games. What I do? I have no intentions of having a full system collection for any system. It's just going to cost too much money and I'm going to end up with far too many games that are utter shite. Instead, I want to collect every wrestling game for the systems that I own, and only the systems that I own. I'm also not really interested in Japanese games, with the exception of the Fire Pro games on the Super Nintendo, because I can actually play those using the universal adapter. Everything else though, sort of fair game. Even stuff from America I'm sort of interested in. Now, when you're collecting any kind of collection, there's always going to be those holy grails of the collection. Those games, typically for collectors, are the really expensive ones, like Nintendo World Championships for the NES. That will cost you thousands upon thousands of pounds if you can find it for sale somewhere. You know, it's a very rare game, very expensive game, not often up for sale. That for me doesn't matter. I have no interest in going after a cartridge like that, or a game like that in general. For me, one of my holy grails is a wrestling game, and I finally got it. Some of you out there will be wondering why this is a holy grail for me. It's not particularly rare, it's not that hard to get hold of, and while it's kind of on the expensive side for non-really rare games, it can go for about 70 quid online. You know, it's not even that expensive technically. But this particular game was not released in the UK. It was released in America, North America in general. But it was released in some PAL regions in Europe. And they were in English. Just for some reason never made it to the UK. So that's why getting it in English in PAL version is a little more difficult. If you're in America, you can get it easy probably, and for fairly cheap no doubt. But over here in England, it's not really something you see out in the wild. You have to go online for it typically, and like I said, it can usually go for about 70 quid. I got it for less than half price. I got it from a seller in Portugal of all places, so I now own a PAL English version of the PlayStation 2 game Fire Pro Wrestling Returns. This is one of my holy grails of gaming, just because it was never released in the UK. There were English and PAL versions, but they're all in Europe. It's expensive to get, especially for someone who is unemployed. And I can finally add it to my PlayStation 2 collection, a physical copy. Because previously I set up an American account on my PlayStation 3 and got it off the PlayStation Network, because it's available for the Americans there to download. So that's how I got it, but now I finally own a physical copy. The instruction manual is not in English, but the game is, thankfully. And I really cannot wait to sort of sit down and figure out finally the Fire Pro controls, because I suck at them on the SNES, I suck at the Game Boy Advance version here, and from what I have played with the PS2 version, when I got it on the PS3, I suck at that as well. But now I own a physical copy of this wonderful game that many praise to be one of the best wrestling games, so I'm really going to put the effort into looking up online the controls and mastering this game. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. I'm Big Cal. This was one of my gaming holy grails. I finally got it. I'm so very happy to add it to my collection. I'll see you again next time.